Nothing Happens in Hollow Creek is a horror story. It contains unsettling sounds, descriptions of violence, and themes of missing persons, systemic neglect, and the way some lives are remembered while others are forgotten. This story is not suitable for all listeners. Discretion is advised. In Hollow Creek, just 'cause it's quiet don't mean you're safe. Sometimes the quiet is just the sound of waiting. Last time, our students followed local rumors into the Bradford Hell and found a lumber mill that was halfway in the process of being reclaimed by the forest it once ruled. Inside, there was a covered mirror, a bedroll, names carved into the walls, a bracelet holding a victim's name, and a man the sheriff swore had already died. As they rode back to the motel, Miles shifted his weight in the passenger seat. Uncle Nate, we found something in there. This was next to a bedroll in the mill. Denise Alvarez, you remember her case? The sheriff barely glanced at the bracelet. He was all angles and hard lines, barely illuminated by the reflection of his headlights on the winding road. Mud caked the nameplate, a single link broken. That place has been cleared out a dozen times. Robert Jacks is dead. Don't start stirring ghosts out of garbage.
It's evidence, not garbage.
Then take it down to county yourself, ma'am. But I'm telling you right now, they'll log it, bag it, and it'll sit in a drawer till rapture. The sheriff dropped them off at the motel and gave a brief word to Miles privately before driving off. The whole ride was mostly silent, save a stern warning to stay out of those woods. He told him that it was private land owned by the Sinclairs, and if he found them there again, they'd be fined, or worse. The trio found it hard to sleep. Jordan couldn't steady her breath. Eli couldn't quiet her mind. And Miles was facing a harsh truth about his family. They shared a stilling silence between them, but regardless of sleep, the morning still rises. The Mountain Bend Motel hadn't warmed up since they came back from the woods. The sky dripped like a leaky sink. The kind of rain that doesn't really clean anything, just moves the dirt around. Inside their room, the air was pulled tight with nerves, and it smelled like damp fabric.
All right, let's talk. We have to figure out how to move forward before we pretend that last night was normal.
He wasn't normal. That thing in the woods, he moved like somebody was yanking at wires on his limbs. The sheriff...
Your uncle?
My uncle spoke to me after you both got out of the car. Said it was a bad look. Told me to stop bringing outsiders into family business. Then he said Jax is dead, full stop. And if we keep stirring it up, we're going to make people nervous.
He's protecting a fairy tale, not the truth.
Silence isn't going to protect the missing. That's why nothing ever happens in Hollow Creek, because they don't report what does happen.
You think the whole town just agreed to look away?
No, Miles. They learned to. It's easier to call someone a runaway than to admit you lost them.
It was as though Eli's words latched onto Miles's chest and laid a weight on his breath. He looked toward the curtained window where a line of gray light traced the edge of the blinds. Jordan sat cross-legged on her bed, recorder in the lap. The red standby light blinking. On the dresser, a laptop glowed pale against the conspiracy board Eli had yarned together in the motel's nicotine-yellow walls. They sat there long enough for the coffee to go cold. The silence was starting to feel like the message. I'm gonna grab breakfast from the diner. Does anybody want something?
Something with caffeine.
So, coffee? Get whatever looks good. Thanks.
Yeah. Miles left without another word. Eli gathered her camera and slipped out toward the motel office to print photos from the lumber mill. That left Jordan alone with the equipment and the sound of the rain. Jordan went scrolling through last night's files. The footage had stutters in it. The sound level bars had pocketed spikes, skipping a couple seconds at a time where they were flat. Sudden spots of silence. She turned up the volume floor and fiddled with settings until the flat sections had bars. Footsteps. Wind. Then, beneath it, another sound. A pulse of static, like breath drawn through a broken speaker. She scrubbed back and listened again. Her pulse climbed. The words came out fractured, repeating with a delay. A faint second voice, just a half beat behind the first, like an altered echo.
They've got one of those old inkjet printers that smells like burning plastic. You should have seen Dolly's face when I...
You have to listen to this.
What are you two doing?
Listen.
Eli queued up the final clip from the mill. The chase. 6 seconds of video before the sheriff's light drowned it all out. They watched together. The room went still except for the low hum of the AC. On screen, Henry's figure jittered with static, the shape of him glitching every time the phrase repeated. The camera was shaky. Grainy night footage with little lighting, mist fogging in the lens. For just a split frame, between the trunks, where Henry should have been, 2 faint red points flared like eyes catching a distant light. A dark shadowy shape, tall, wide, featureless. And in the next frame, it was gone.
What the hell? Go back. Frame by frame. Freeze it.
The silhouette hung in the pause, blurred by the mist, its edges leaking in the dark, making it hard to find where its form ended. The red points winked out first, then the rest of it followed, and Henry was visible again. That's just lighting issues. Sheriff's flashlight probably bounced off his jacket or eyes or something.
Okay, then why doesn't it show up in the next frame?
The distortion syncs with the words, not with movement, not with light. His voice.
Jesus. The 3 of them stared at the frozen frame, the shadow almost casting through the screen. The motel's old pipes rattled in the walls, startling them all.
Avoids light, repeats phrases, covers mirrors, leaves evidence, and now distorts recordings.
It's deliberate. Whatever this thing is, it's managing how it's seen. It wants to be followed.
Then what are we gonna do? You want to go chasing it for an interview?
No. I want to find someone who's seen it and survived.
Caleb Dawes. He was one of Jax's hostages during the final confrontation at the mill. It says he was taken from his home off Highway 15. Maybe he still lives there.
Yeah, near the creek. Couple miles past the Sinclair fence line. Outside, the rain had thinned to a mist and the temperature had noticeably dropped. The motel sign flickered pink in the puddles, its hum syncing with the laptop static. They packed their gear in silence. Miles and Eli share a glance, then Jordan and them both, and all of their shoulders relaxed. The road to 15 narrowed, thinned, and eventually stopped pretending to be paved. Kudzu had swallowed what used to be fence posts, and a line of sagging barbed wire marked the edge of Sinclair land. Beyond it, the woods pressed in close, like they wanted their property back. Caleb Dawes lived out here. past the reach of good reception and quicker rescue. There was a beaten dirt path with shallow tire tracks. Along this path, there were trees with signs pointing you towards the mill, the Howards, the Browns, Mo Lawson, and Dawes. A walk further, and the house was visible. The porch had hanging lanterns, burning in the afternoon, their glow redundant in the sun. On the steps, an old man rocked in a splintered chair, a mason jar balanced on his knee. The amber inside caught what little light the lanterns gave.
Don't get too many visitors out this far. Y'all from the college, right? The ones asking about the mill?
Yes, sir. Are you Caleb Dawes?
I suppose I am.
We were hoping to ask you a few questions, if that's all right. You can stop at any time.
I stop when I need to.
He rocked once, slow, and nodded toward the railing. Etched into the porch were marks. Crosses, circles, lines that looped and cut through one another. Some were old. Some had been carved fresh.
These symbols, they're protective?
Against what's out there, yeah. Preacher told me to trust the Lord. I told him I do. But I also trust a good lock and a sharp blade. So I keep good on both kinds of faith.
You think someone's still out there? I mean, after Jax?
You say his name like he's the problem. Jax was just a door that thing walked through. Been here longer than any of us.
What thing?
Oh, it's got plenty of names. My granddaddy called it the Winding Man. Preacher once called it Barabbas. Some old folks in town just say the weight in the trees. I call it the Periphery.
The word was heavy. He had to lift it out of him. He stared past them toward the tree line, out toward the mill.
'Cause that's where it thrives. Right on the edge of seeing. Always just out of sight. Just beyond what some folks will admit they heard. It don't need to be seen long to change you. Just enough to know you seen something.
You think it's still here?
It don't leave. Some folks think they're safe 'cause they pray loud or they got good land or a badge. But it don't care about none of that. It's learned to take the people nobody checks on when they go missing.
The chair creaked as he rocked again, each back and forth slower than the last.
Mr. Dawes, if we record you, this could help people understand what's happening here.
Ramblings from an old man. This kind of understanding don't save nobody. Light might, but you better keep it close. It don't like the light, but it hates being seen even more. Damned creature. Cursed to leave little breadcrumbs, but banned by being perceived. Oh, you ever seen a person that looks awake, but the life's gone out their eyes? It's what it leaves behind. Folks round here call them nobodies. I call them hollows.
You mean like Henry?
If that's the one you saw, yeah. He's one of them. Used to be a man once. The periphery gets in through the cracks. Grief, guilt, shame. Eats what's inside till they ain't nothing but a shell and some borrowed words. That's why they repeat 'em. They got an echo.
Can you stop it?
You can interrupt it. Light helps. Noise helps. Drawing some attention to it. But it don't die. It just moves sideways. That's what the name means. It lives where you ain't looking. If you want to live, you don't go hunting it. You keep on moving out of here. Don't give it stillness. Don't give it dark. And don't let it learn your voice. Y'all should head back before the sun sinks beneath the tree line. The forest gets mean when it thinks people are listening.
The older man got up from his rocking chair and began extinguishing his lanterns with a quick breath each. He gazed up to the tops of the trees and took a deep inhale through his nose.
Oh, and a storm is rolling in. Y'all should move on out of here before you waste your light.
Oh, yes, sir. And thank you for your time.
They left him there, rocking in the setting sun, the jar half empty and the woods held in a breath. Behind them, the lanterns on Caleb's porch snuffed out in a single blow. The rain came down in bursts, with wind whipping into the side of the car and sudden pockets of silence. The old man's warnings rattled in their heads, creating a new depth of reality to the monster they were imagining. The dirt paths that led to Highway 15 were taking longer on the way back than on the way in, and the storm clouds blotting out the sunshine didn't help.
He said it moves sideways. It lives where you aren't looking. How are we supposed to find it?
He meant it isn't bound to one place. Once you see it, you're part of its circle.
Then we should have never gone out there. The rain fell harder now. The wipers slapped at the sheets in futility. The road ahead started to disappear into the gray.
What's wrong with your headlights?
It's just the alternator. She's old, and sometimes she gets fussy on it.
Nah, it's it.
The headlights died and darkness rushed in all at once, thick as smoke. The only light came from the recorder's LED, hazy red in the cup holder like an exit sign, but the car still kept on rolling.
Pull over, pull over, pull over!
I can't see the shoulder.
Miles!
The car slid sideways into the ditch, nose first, splitting on a tree with a plume of smoke. Airbags burst into Jordan and Miles. Eli jolted forward but was yanked back by her seatbelt. For a second, no one breathed. There was a shared silence, even with the forest. Then, slowly, the rain came back in. Soft at first, then relentless, and with it, buzz of the radio.
Turn the radio off.
I think it's already off.
The radio wasn't on. The battery was fried from the crash. The speakers still whispered, faint as breath on glass.
It knows your name.
That was my voice. In the blink of the flash, they saw it, tall as the pines, bending the scattered white light around it. Then it was gone, and the dark flowed back in.
Run! Just go!
They stumbled into the downpour, shoes sinking in the clay. The trees pressed close on both sides.
Which way? We can't see the road.
The old man's place. Back to Caleb's. Go!
I see light. There. Lanterns.
Through the curtain of rain, Caleb's porch came into view, one lantern still burning, swaying like it had been waiting. Caleb, it's us! The chair was there, rocking slow, empty. The door stood half open, light spilling from inside, but no one answered.
He said it don't like the light.
For a moment, only the rain remained. Then from inside the home came a voice, ragged, low, almost familiar. Hold up. Where's Jordan at? Nothing Happens in Hollow Creek is a student-led production out of Kennesaw State University. The show was written by John Williams. Our production manager is Abigail Diamond. Our audio and visual editor is Abby Tape. Our theme and outro music are by Sawyer Goodson. Eli is voiced by Abby Tape. Jordan is voiced by Abigail Diamond. Miles is voiced by John Williams. For more information about the show, please visit us at nothinghollow.com or give us a holler on Instagram at NHHCofficial. Thank you once again for listening. We'll see you next time, if God is willing and the creek don't rise.